Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Truth Aside Podcast. This is your host, V Rod. Today is June 30th, 2025. And this is second episode. First of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you liked our content, please like and subscribe. We would love to hear from you guys, get some feedback, what you want to see more, what things you want us to discuss. Uh, as far as any information, there's a lot of things going on right now. But what brings me today to discuss is, as far as here, what we try to do on Truth Unsided, we want to make sure we get the facts out. We take sensationalism out. We take biases out, and we give you the true facts about what we are seeing. A lot of folks go left wing, right wing. I don't believe in that. I believe in to try to set the record straight and talk about things exactly the way they are or they should be. The other day I was listening to a podcast uh, from Tucker Carlson, and I've seen some of his podcasts. He has a lot of interesting views and ideas, and like I said, I like to hear all sides, just get make an informed decision and then dig deep and see what are the facts behind is being talked about. He was talking to a journalist by the name of Liz Collin, and Liz Collin is a journalist from Minnesota, and she was covering the George Floyd case back in 2020. And they were discussing as far as certain things that were not brought up during the case, and how it might have not been Derek Chauvin's fault as far as how everything went down, and how the media, according to them, got hold of the whole narrative and just showed one side of one version of the story. I know Ben Shapiro earlier this year was asking Donald Trump to be able to pardon Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin is serving a 22 and a half year sentence for the murder of George Floyd. And Ben Shapiro thought it was a good idea to have Derek Chauvin pardoned by Donald Trump. So when I heard that, I was trying to say, wait a minute, are we missing something? Because, 2020, part of 2020, besides COVID, which was a very chaotic year, was the George Floyd murder. So I started looking at things and started analyzing the case, how everything went down, and I was gonna go ahead and do the podcast according to what I found. But I had not watched the video. I did watch the video from before, like everybody did in 2020, from the people that were standing on the side recording the whole thing, as far as the arrest and Derek Chauvin with his knee on George Floyd's neck. And that's the only part I saw. But I hadn't seen the body cam footage from the police officer, as far as the whole thing from beginning to end, a part of the situation. So after watching the video camera, I saw there were certain things as far as, and I tell everybody, please do not resist arrest. Please do not resist arrest. Try to comply. There's a lot of things as far as we're worried about shootings before. And at the end of the day, also you got to understand that the officers are always in danger. I got family members that are police officers, and you never know who you're walking up to, so you have to be always guarded. But at the same time, you know, please do not resist and make things worse than what they really are. So based on what I saw, and before even I get to what I saw, there were two autopsies done on George Floyd. One by the county, and the other one by the family. Okay, the county ruled it a homicide, as well as the family's side as far as what they did. The commissioned autopsy also concluded in homicide. Okay, homicide, it means that they said due to the restraint as far as law enforcement, it caused George Floyd to die. Okay, he might have had a lot of things going on, which he did. He had drugs in his system. He had previous history of arrests. He had a lot of things going on. But based on what the examination was that he did, Derek Chauvin, for that matter, caused the death of George Floyd. It was still considered a homicide on both sides. One did mention that there was no evidence of classic asphyxiation, which is airway blockage, but the pressure on the neck and back did cause, it's called cardiopulmonary arrest. Cardiopulmonary arrest. That's due to that restraint, enforcement restraint by Derek Chauvin. The second report that was for the family, it says mechanical asphyxia from neck and back pressure. So they'll have the restraint, the pressure, as far as that it did cause, as far as that sustained pressure, it restricted his blood and airflow to the brain. So that's why it was still considered a homicide. So he got arrested plenty of times before, or a couple of times before George Floyd, and that's one of the things that a lot of people that are contesting the verdict, they're saying, as far as what, George Floyd wasn't some guy that just doing nice guy and all that stuff. He did try to buy some cigarettes with a fake $20 bill, and that he had things as far as associated with drugs, associated with a lot of things, which it is true. It's definitely true. But what I also see was that Derek Chauvin had at least 18 complaints that were filed in his 19-year career. Only 2 resulted in letters of reprimand, and most of the complaints were due to use of force incidents. That's what he had. He had a reputation of aggressive behavior and had been involved in at least one prior shooting death in 2006. So just like we have things for George Floyd, we still have things for Derek Chauvin. There were 121 deaths related to the same type of situation as far as George Floyd. Okay, there was at least 121 deaths that have been linked to prone restraint with officer body pressure, which that's what Derek Chauvin was doing on George Floyd. How long was this pressure for? 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Okay, 4 or 5 of those minutes, he was already unconscious, and then for the last 2 to 3 minutes, he had no pulse. So even after he was unresponsive, he still had the pressure on him. The guy was still on his neck and back. And then after he had no pulse, he was still leaning on his neck and back. I heard on the video, on the police body cam footage, moving to the side. You hear the people that were on the side shouting at the officers that he was not moving. He's not moving. Not responsive. Check his pulse. And that the body language of Derek Chauvin was kind of show off. Like I heard he was like, "You enjoying that?" by the body language, and you can see that on the video from the people that were recording. as far as Derek Chauvin um, laying on his neck for that long of a time. Okay, so we have those things that went on. That's the that's what I heard as far as the video. I know that Derek Chauvin is eligible to come out at 2037. But looking at everything, it does not change the narrative, at least for me. Okay. Was he really not complying all the way? Yeah, he was somewhat non compliant. Was he dangerous? He was not. Was he high? He was high. He was high as hell. Yes, he was. Okay. Did he try to use language or what have you to talk to the officers? What? Yes, he did. He was trying to not get arrested. He was trying to find a way to, not end up, back in jail and so forth. All those things are true. It does not give anybody the right to place their knee on somebody's neck and that person's telling you that he can't breathe, that his neck is hurting, please, 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 and no reaction as far as to see or try to help or try to alleviate the situation. Okay? I know Liz Collin, 14 years reporting, and I heard I watched a PPD podcast, and I heard something that PPD said as far as biases. Everybody has biases, and it's true. It's true, and things can be looked at different ways. Liz Collin, really great, really good reporter, great reporter. Had Emmys, had won some Emmys. Had been an anchor 14 years, investigating, reporting. The bias, her husband was a former president of the Minneapolis Police Federation. That's a bias. The reason why she wasn't allowed really to report, part of the reasons, there might be some media things in there, but was that it was a conflict of interest. Okay. Um, JC Chakes, I think that's the way you say his name. They did a documentary, the fall in Minneapolis. But their job is trying to unmask unfair reporting by the media, when people omit facts and all that. But he was also a former police officer. Whether you're a former police officer, whether you have a um, a criminal record, it does not give anybody the right to take lives away. We complain about religions that cut hands and all that stuff, and people get stoned and all that. And we want to say, you know what, that's not the way to be. There's other ways to handle certain things. This applies to the same situation. Okay? Most people don't go and look at the facts. Most people go by what they're saying, what people say to them, because it's probably something that they were thinking. There's a bias in there. It goes along with they're thinking. Either you're far left, you love to hear far left narrative. If you're far right, conservative, you want to do also hear the same thing. You want to hear whatever you want to hear. Few people go ahead and really do investigating and see exactly what the facts are. And it's very shameful that people that have a voice, that talk about other people or other entities that do fake news and fake media and try to be deceptive, to try to do the same thing to their own people that are watching the shows. Everybody saw the video. It's not a US thing, it's a global thing. Everybody in the world saw this video. Only because we're 5 years removed from the incident doesn't mean that the things change. There was an opportunity for there to be other ways to handle that situation in which it was not handled. There was an opportunity to be able to get his pressure, get his knee off George Floyd's neck and back, and that was not done. All for a pack of cigarettes and a fake $20 bill. If you do anything fake, yes, you should get arrested. If you do a crime, yes, you should get arrested. Okay? You should definitely get arrested if you are committing a crime. It doesn't give anybody the right to take another person's life, especially if the person is not in the best state of mind. Because if you're high, I've never been high, but you're on drugs, you're under the influence. So there needs to be training to be able to handle those situations. If you're a criminal or not, everybody's life is important. We need to be able to show the facts as they are, not as what we think they are. And the video, the story, what went on, it all concludes that Derek Chauvin did not handle the situation the way it should have been handled by putting his knee on the guy's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Again, 9 minutes and 29 seconds. So, if you have any questions as far as what the facts that I've gathered, please share them. I just want to make sure that not people out there do not forget as far as what the facts are and what really happened in that summer of 2020. And the people that are trying to bring this thing back, like it is something that we forget about, or that we now, because it's removed, we're going to start creating narratives that don't go along with what really happened. This is the episode for today. Like I said, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. We're going to try to continue to get better on this. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and have a blessed night. Take care. Bye-bye.